Okay, says I'm live. Yay. All right, it is Monday. I was going to say Tuesday. I don't know why. It's Monday. It's 2:00-ish, and I'm here. So I am Tamara Shelley with our Big Oily Family, and I like to drop in here on Mondays, 2:00-ish. I try to do it at 2, but sometimes things happen. And have a topic that we kind of talk about for that day. And today I wanted to talk about focus and motivation, because I seem to be lacking in both of those lately. So we're going to talk about that. All right. Let me move that out of my way. I've got too many things open on here. So I can get to my notes. Okay. So, and today we're going to be reading some things out of the Essential Life book. Great resource. If you don't have that, I will throw the link in here when I'm done, where you can get that at. The 9th edition is the newest one that has all the new oils that just came out at convention. So, you know that essential oils they're potent and they're powerful, and there's a wide variety, which is really nice, right, of essential oils and blends that you can use, because some things work for different people. Like what works for me to help me focus may not be like the best thing for you. And so it is kind of a trial and error thing, but not error, but you just will find that maybe it doesn't help you to focus or make you motivated. But there are some recommendations that are kind of that work for the majority of the people. And so the essential oils themselves, they have, like both uplifting and calming chemical profiles. And so there's a lot of options, kind of like endless options for using essential oils when you want to bring about focus or motivation. Okay. Our sense of smell, as we know, is kind of one of the most miraculous ways that we can experience the world, right? Even faint aromas can engage your sense of smell, and they can trigger a response. Compared to animals now, right? Think about your dog. The human sense of smell is relatively weak, but our sensitivity to aromas and odors allows us to experience responses when we encounter pretty much anything that you smell, any scent. Okay. A specific smell that you can encounter has the potential to generate certain responses from you. And it depends on how the aroma interacts with your brain. So I do have, let me move that out of the way so I can share my screen. I do have just a little, oh, come on. There we go. Of course, it's in the place that's covered up. So there we go. Okay. So basically how your sense of smell works, and your olfactory system is like right where my glasses are. It's like right in the middle at the bridge of your nose. If you squeeze your nose at the top, that's where it is. Okay. And so when you have an aroma response, you inhale the aroma. So say you open up a bottle of essential oil, or you smell your coffee in the morning, right? I'm sure everybody has a response to coffee. And maybe you don't like coffee, maybe it's tea, but I don't know. Coffee just always smells good to me. It never tastes as good, but it smells good. And your aroma, then the aroma that you're smelling is picked up by your olfactory receptors in your nose, which are up here. Okay. It is processed in that system, and that's the system that controls your sense of smell. Neurons then, which are basically nerve cells, they send signals to the brain to identify the smell. And then the nerve signals transmit information from your olfactory system, right, to your limbic system. And that is where your memories and your emotions are stored. And the limbic system then produces a response to the aroma. So if you think about it this way, say you smell bread baking, right? And that might take you back to being at your grandmother's house. Or you smell, I don't know, snickerdoodle cookies, right? Anything like that. Think about vanilla as a very warming aroma. And when you smell that, not for some reason, but because you have a response from your limbic system, right? You stop whining. Dog is whining. So fun. it triggers kind of like, it can trigger an emotional response. So there could be some essential oils or some smells that you smell and you get kind of like angry or you get uncomfortable. Okay. And that's exactly what your olfactory system is doing. Okay. And you could get angry because maybe in your past that you don't even remember that something happened. And that was the aroma. Okay. That you associated with that. And that it's I find it very interesting because that happens a lot. Okay. And you do have to, it's something that you kind of can pay attention to figure out kind of what that response is and why. If you have a negative response, if you have a happy one, it's not a big deal, right? It's really nice and it smells good and it brings back these great memories. But if you have a response to an aroma that isn't real good, that might be something that you want to look at. If it's something that you want to change, right? So there are 5 common groups of essential oils. And if you have the emotional aromatherapy thing, it's on there, the wheel, it's on there. It has all these 5 things. So there are mints, right? And those are going to be energizing. Those are going to be uplifting. Those are going to have invigorating properties. Those are going to pretty much wake up your brain and make you feel happy. And then there's citrus, and those are uplifting and invigorating. Citrus is very good for kind of turning your mood around if you're having a really down day, like when here in the Pacific Northwest, if it's gray outside, it's really nice to have those citrus oils to diffuse them because it can really change your mood from being down when it's all gray and rainy and kind of gloomy to a better, positive, happier mood. And then there's floral. Okay. Those are uplifting and invigorating. And then there's spice, one of my favorites. I love all the things spices. Those have really nice warming properties. And then there's herbs, and those are soothing and renewing and the grounding properties. And so if you think of like our blend that we have, Balance, right, which is a very grounding blend of oils, it's a great way to start your day because it just kind of sets you up on an even keel so that no matter what happens during that day, your emotions don't necessarily do this. They're going to be more, steady along the way. That to get any task done, right, to the best of your ability, you need to be able to focus. And what's funny is that ironically, it's usually when we need it most that we can't manage to focus at all, right? Okay, you have 80 million things and you're squirreling everywhere, right? And so it's very helpful if you can give your brain the extra help it needs by following a routine, okay? Because I don't know, I think for myself, I function better on a routine. And if you get thrown off your routine, you can still function, but it's harder to be able to focus on the things that you need to focus on. Okay. And so if you set up a routine, it's really good to help you get in the mindset of focus. Maybe you have 3 things that you do before you sit down to work, right? And that really helps to put your brain into the mindset of, oh, we're working now, right? And so it can be really helpful that way. And a major component of focus is the atmosphere that you surround yourself with. So if possible, think about choosing a room or a location to do your work in if you're working from home, right? Instead of just, smack dab in the middle of the living room when maybe the kids are watching Bluey or something equally distracting. That's really fun to watch, right? But if you need to focus on something, that may not be the best choice. Okay. At least 15 minutes before you begin, again, try to create a routine that you do, right? There are some essential oils that you can use. You can use them by themselves. You can use them in a blend. Some recommendations are basil, which is perfect for those that need mental clarity. It's great on its own or when you diffuse it with peppermint or cedarwood. Basil is one of my favorite blends for focus when I diffuse it with equal amounts, so like 2 drops of each. Basil and lime and cinnamon. I don't know what it is about that blend, but it helps my mind to kind of, put on the shutters and just focus on what I need to do and get it done. Okay. It's also good when you diffuse it with peppermint or with cedarwood as a focus oil. And then there's fir. So that one is going to give you a sense of focus kind of and grounded because it's got really deep roots. And it's grounded in the ground, right? It's a fir tree. And so those things relate then also to you and how you can respond to it. It can help you change your mood if you need a more positive outlook. It's just a really, any of the fur oils are going to do that for you. So if you have Siberian fur, or I don't know what the other ones are. Douglas fir. I know there's one other one and I can't think what it is. Anyway, but those are going to be really good at helping you to stay like grounded in the moment and be able to focus more. And then eucalyptus oil, that's really good to clear your mind and chase away any tense feelings. You can use that again in your diffuser. And then spearmint oil is another one. Lisa Zimmer has her favorite diffuser blend that she likes to use that I have adopted because it's fabulous is spearmint and bergamot and cinnamon. And it is like 2 drops of spearmint, 2 drops of bergamot, and 1 drop of cinnamon. So it's a little less on that, but that's a really good one also. And that would be good in the diffuser. You can use it with, you could use like spearmint and Douglas fir would be a really good combo, or spearmint and eucalyptus would be really good. You know, it's really fun to try different things and see how you respond to them. So you know that to get any task done to the best of your ability, you need to be able to focus. And I already read that, sorry. Limiting distractions is another thing that's super important when you want to focus. Okay. So if you can keep away, again, if you're in the middle of your living room and you've got the TV going or music going or anything that's going to like pull your attention away, that's not going to be helpful for you to focus. And so try to limit the amount of distractions that are around you when you're trying to focus and get things done that you want to get done. Those single oils that we mentioned previously, another good one is a blend, and it's called In Tune, and it's actually the focus blend. That one is really good at helping people who have a hard time concentrating to really focus. Now, that one is not everyone's favorite aroma. It does have patchouli in it. I think it smells fabulous, but if you don't like patchouli, it may not be your cup of tea. And remember that in that In Tune, it's in a roller bottle. But remember that in that roller bottle, it is not diluted. It is 100% oils. And so my recommendation is to make like 2 or 3 more roller bottles out of that. So you just would pop open the original one and put the same-ish, right, amount of oils in there, and then top them off with fractionated coconut oil, a bunch of rollers that would go longer, right? But it's really good to use on the back of your neck. You can roll it on your temples. Okay. It's very good for anyone who has focus problems, kids in school, things like that. But again, that may not be your favorite aroma. And so if it's not, we have the kids roller blend, the Thinker blend, which is also really good. And so if you don't care for In Tune and it doesn't, you know, maybe it works for you. I have a friend who uses it. She doesn't like it. She uses it as a last resort, but it works very well. And so she puts it on like the bottoms of her feet and maybe on the back of her neck. She gets done what she needs to get done, and then she washes off. Now it's still like has soaked into your skin and is in your bloodstream and that kind of thing, but she tries to wash off the aroma so that she doesn't smell it, because it's not her cup of tea. So but Thinker, the kids roller, is also really good to use, and that has Thinker, that is called the Focus Blend. Also, that one has, here we go, vetiver, which is super grounding, peppermint, clementine, and rosemary is what's in that. Really good, again, for any type of focus blend. And so if you don't care for the patchouli in the In Tune blend, then definitely give the Thinker blend a try, because it does smell really good and it works very well. All right. So then, you know, just as the ability or inability to focus can have a major impact on your day-to-day life, right? Being able to find motivation can influence your success and quality of life. And motivation is described as reasoning behind our actions. And this reasoning can generally be categorized in one of 2 types. of motivation, and that is intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. And so if you look here on the little picture that I'm showing you, intrinsic motivation is when internal factors cause a person to take certain actions or behave in a certain way. And when someone does something for intrinsic reasons, it might be simply because the person wants to. Okay. And then there's extrinsic, and that is it's the motivation to do something because of external factors. So in most cases, external or extrinsic motivation spurs from the desire for reward or to avoid punishment or undesirable consequences. And those are the two different types of motivation that there are, right? One essential oil in particular is helpful when it comes to memory problems associated with aging, and that can be Melissa essential oil. And that is a fabulous oil to use, no matter your age. Taking Melissa into, either you put a drop on your tongue, which is something I do every morning, or putting it in a little veggie capsule. It can help to support your cognitive health and memory. And then there's also a couple of supplements that are really good in that arena, and that is Mito 2 Max. It's mainly known as an energy supplement. It can help to improve memory problems, attention span, and mental performance, especially as it declines later in age, just does. And then the Exio Omega, which is part of the doTERRA Lifelong Vitality Pack, that also helps to support memory and cognitive health, and it promotes normal memory, attention control, alertness, mental acuity, and a positive mood. So those are two super helpful supplements that you can add along with using your essential oils. And remember that the Lifelong Vitality is the foundation of our health, so to speak, because it fills in all those gaps that you are not getting nutritionally. And so if you have that foundational support in your dietary completeness, right? Then the essential oils, they work better because they're not trying to fix all this stuff down here in your foundation. They're able to go and do what they need to do. And you've already got your foundation set. Okay. So super important that if you aren't taking good supplements, you should really take a look at what's in them and compare them with the doTERRA Lifelong Vitality, because it is like hands down like probably the best supplements out there. I can say that truthfully. They're all bioavailable for your body, which just means your body knows what it is, thinks it's food, it knows what to do with it. And so you're not just flushing out those supplements. They know what to do. Your body's using them to the max. Okay. Now there are some oils. These are the uplifting oils, and I'm sure there's others, but these are the ones we're going to talk about today. Like I said, in my diffuser blend, I use bergamot and lime and cinnamon, and that really seems to bring my focus in. But another one can be lemon essential oil, which, I mean, think about that. Lemon essential oil, it just smells really fresh and clean, and you have to smile because it just has those uplifting properties in it, right? Blue tansy is another one that can be really good for uplifting oils. That one actually helps you motivational wise also to get things done. There's a blue tansy challenge in our group here. I think it's in the units or guides. I don't know. Facebook keeps changing it. I think it's called guides now. But you can go look for the blue tansy challenge. And what it is just putting a drop on the bottom of your toe every morning and noticing how your day goes. And you do that for like 30 days. And seeing, how your motivation changes and you feel like you can get more things done, and you do get more things done, and you just feel and have a more positive outlook. Lime is another one. Again, that's a citrus oil, so it's going to be like super uplifting. Douglas fir, we already talked about. Peppermint, super good at clearing any brain fog and just really waking you back up. I like to take the peppermint beadlets that we have and keep them in the car so that if I'm driving and the sun's coming in and the vibration of the tire, the whole thing, and you're like nodding off as you're in the car, which is not a good thing. I like to take one of those and put it in my mouth and then pop it open and then take a big breath in and out. And boy, does it clear any like brain fog that you have going on, or sleepiness or anything. It just wakes you back up instantly. Grapefruit, that's another citrus, super good. Grapefruit and balance together in the diffuser. Oh, smells so good. I also have a roller of it. I use it as a perfume. It just smells so good and it makes you feel good. Tangerine is another great one. Fennel, if you like the like black licorice anise smell, that could be a good one for being uplifting for you. And then wild orange, right? Wild orange is very uplifting. It's also really good if you don't like closed in spaces or lots of people, if you have a problem going out. That has worked for me when I started to feel very panicky with all the people around. And I just put a drop of wild orange in the palm of my hand and rubbed it together and then breathed it in. And I could just feel like the tension leaving and the panicky feelings leaving. So that's a good one for uplifting oils. And then we have the calming oils, which are helpful for slowing things down and helping you to focus. Okay. And that's basil, which we talked a little bit about. Clary sage is also a good one. That's a blend. Petitgrain, that is considered the man's lavender, because if you don't care for lavender, petitgrain it's kind of really fresh, like green aroma. I really like it. I don't use it very often because I don't know, I just don't, but I do like the aroma. I think it smells very good but it's very calming, helping you to focus. Bergamo's in this one again. Jasmine could be another one. And so we have the jasmine touch roller. I think we also have a jasmine 5 ml now that's available all the time, I think, but I know we have the touch roller. Roman chamomile is another one that's really good for calming. Now, even though they're calming, if you think about that, Roman chamomile on this list, lavender on this list, and vetiver, normally you would think about those as calming and grounding and going to sleep, right? But if you have a mind that works and that is like going all the time, those oils can be very good at helping you to, as it says here, slow down and focus. So they won't necessarily make you sleepy. They will just help your mind to kind of stop all of the chaotic and bring it in. Okay. Cilantro is another one. And cilantro is one of those ones also kind of like patchouli, I think, that you either like or you don't. There's no middle ground. You either like it or you don't like it. Lavender's on here. Spikenard. That one is not my favorite aroma, but it works very, very, very well. It has a very earthy aroma, but it's one of those calming, grounding oils. Coriander is here. Neroli, which is another floral oil, and that comes in the touch roller that you can use. And then vetiver. Vetiver is very grounding. It's a very thick oil, but it's very, very good at what it does, and that is calming you down and, making sure that you're not reacting to everything that's going on around you, so to speak. Okay, so I'm going to stop my share. There are some application ideas, right, that you can diffuse. You can use them topically. The citrus oils are going to have the supplemental fact label on there, so you could use those in your water to help also uplift your mood, but same thing, it would detox you at the same time, right? Because they're a gentle detox. Another good blend to use is to diffuse citrus bliss or citrus bloom, because both of those are super yummy and they smell really good. It makes your room smell really well, really yummy, right? And also it's very uplifting with the citrus in there. Okay, so that can help to kind of brighten your mood and give you some energizing and uplifting properties. And then you could use lavender, because that is going to provide positive thoughts of self-awareness, and it's helpful to diffuse when trying to stay on task. If you do lavender and rosemary, that's a really good combination also. There have been studies done. I don't know where I saw this, so I don't have a link to show you, but that when you diffuse rosemary and while you're studying, you diffuse rosemary, take that test. If you're not necessarily going to diffuse it, right? Because you're going to be at a place where you're taking a test. But if you have a roller or the bottle with you and you smell that before you go take that test, you will actually do really well, because again, you're associating a action with an aroma. So like every time you study, you diffuse rosemary, and then it has properties that help your memory to be better. And then you smell that right before you go in and take a test. That will really help to your recall of the things that you were trying to study, right? Okay. Peppermint, you can inhale, you can diffuse it, you can put a drop under your tongue, on your tongue, to wake yourself up. And then you could rub on your temples, the back of your neck. That's going to be a really good way to help you wake up. Okay. If you have a blend, that's all I have in my notes. If you have a blend or you have a single oil that works really well for you, I would love to know what it is, because maybe it's something that I haven't tried. And I'm always looking for new, you're always looking for new combos to put in the diffuser to see how you like it. Yeah, so if you have a blend or a single oil that you really like to use for motivation or for focus, whether you're, trying to get your work done or studying or whatever, I would love for you to share that. So that's all I have for you today. Next week, I'll be back on Monday, and that's it. Okay. So I'll put the link for, I didn't ever read out of this. I totally meant to, but the Essential Life book, you could go in here and you could look up any of those oils. So let's look at real quick, because I didn't really talk about it. Let's look at Clary Calm. They're all in alphabetical order. They are not separated out. They used to be separated out by singles and then blends. They're not anymore. It's just all straight in alphabetical order. So Clary Calm has clary sage, lavender. That's got your focus, right? Bergamot, again, uplifting and focus. Rum and chamomile, uplifting and focus. Ylang ylang, cedarwood, which is that's another one that's good for focus. Geranium, fennel, that's another one. Carrot seed, palmarosa, and vitex. And so great for focus. Okay. But you can look them up. There's an alphabetical section in here. If you look in the front, let's look up focus in the front or motivation in the front. There's like a quick reference. So if we look up focus, it has In Tune or Thinker. It has frankincense, and we didn't talk about frankincense. That's another grounding oil that's really, really good. So frankincense plus wild orange, vetiver plus lavender, cedarwood. Supermint would be another one if you have that, if you don't have peppermint or you want to change it up, right? Spearmint would be another one that we talked about, but supermint or peppermint. And then there's a whole section on page 411 on focus and concentration. And they have, oh, I didn't even think about that. I have heard that before. Adaptive, the soft gels, can be super helpful if you have a hard time focusing. It, again, is kind of calming you down to help you focus in on the task. I could speak. So they have some things in it. They have a fidget fixer, which is in a 10 ml roller bottle, and it's got cedarwood, balance, frankincense, lavender, and adaptive in it. They got quite a few different focus diffuser blend options. Motivation power. That one has basil, grapefruit, bergamot, sandalwood, rosemary, and ylang ylang. Calm and composed, mellow out, chill pill. There's quite a few in here. I will take a picture. I'll take a picture of this and put it in the thing, because there's quite a few things that would be super helpful for both motivation and focus. And then we looked up focus. So let's see if I'm sure there's motivation in the front here too. Let's see. There actually is not motivation, but it is here with the focus stuff. So I will take a picture of this and I will post it in here for you. All right. So be sure and share any singles or blends or combinations of singles that you have made that help with your focus and motivation. And I will be back next week. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.